All right, welcome everybody to our fifth annual student-powered film festival with Monterey Bay Q, 2022 Earth Day. So we are Monterey Bay Q. We are a local nonprofit organization supporting teachers and students in the Monterey County, Santa Cruz County, and San Benito counties. And we support innovation and education with teachers and students. And that we are seeing a lot of student innovation in the films that are being made by students for this film festival. So we're going to show you some of that today. So welcome to our big show. I am Jen Rogers. I work for Salinas High School District, and I am the president of Monterey Bay Q. So I want to welcome the rest of our board members here, and I will let them introduce each themselves.
Hey everybody, Ben Cogswell here. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Barden Elementary School in Salinas.
Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie. I'm an Ed Tech and Innovation teacher on special assignment at the Santa Cruz County Office of Education.
Hi everyone, my name is Krista Bradley and I'm a teacher at Mission Park Elementary School in Salinas.
Hello, my name is Laura Carey. I am a mathematics program coordinator at the Monterey County Office of Education.
Hello, I'm Maribel Barba. I'm an educational technology coach in Greenfield Union School District.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul Dietrich and I am a 6th through 8th grade computer fundamentals teacher in Gonzales.
Hello, I'm Rob Appel and I'm a pathway coordinator for Monterey Peninsula College hosted by Mission Trails ROP.
And the man behind the scenes, moving all our slides around and everything, is Mr. Jacob Jen. And he is with Salinas Union High School District as a computer science teacher and an ROP teacher.
All right, so Jen and I will be kicking it off for you here. This is our student-powered film festival by the numbers. As we take a look back over the last 5 years, everything of our students have been able to do and produce. And so over 5 years, we've had 5 events, and 2 of them have been in person, and 3 of them have been in virtual. We'll see what next year holds for us. We have given out more than $2,500 in prize money, and that has been given directly to students. And over 5 years, if you can believe it, there has been 127 student entries. It's been amazing, all of those student-powered films.
And this year, for our 5th anniversary, we have 5 featured films that we're going to be sharing with you today. From those films, we have had over 2,345 views on YouTube in 1 week this year with just those 5 films. And of those 5 films, 360 likes in 1 week. So it's been a busy week on YouTube for us. Great job sharing all those films. Speaking of sharing, Ben, tell us about these hashtags.
All right. Well, of course, your impact doesn't have to stop here or just with these films, right? Of course, sharing is caring. And as we're preparing for Earth Day, we want you to think about what is your impact going to be this year, specifically for our planet Earth. It doesn't have to be just for Earth Day. It can be for the whole year. And if you are so inclined, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, wherever you would like to share, even if it's just turning next to the person next to you and thinking about how you're going to share, what you're going to do for our lovely planet Earth this year. Jen?
Great. Speaking of hearing from each other, let's hear from a couple of our filmmakers about what they learned through going through this process and making these films.
Hello everyone, my name is Sofia Nieves Morales. I'm a kindergartner and my teacher name is Miss Pantoja. What about my video is not to kill the bees because there's not going to be any honey or pollen. Thank you everyone who watched my video and clicked like on it. So thank you to everyone who watched my video. My family from North Carolina and Salinas. A special thank you for my teacher Miss Pantoja. Love your Mother Earth.
1.
Hi, my name is Izumi Lopez. I am from Washington Middle School. I am in 7th grade. And one thing I learned from the making of this video is that doing one small thing to help your environment can make a big difference.
Hi, my name is Maya Cobb. I'm a 7th grader at Washington Middle School. And one thing I learned in the making of this video is that humans have a very huge impact on the world. And last is a shout out to Mrs. L for helping us make this video.
All right. It's wonderful to hear from those student filmmakers. Just to share a little bit more about Monterey Bay CUE, these are our goals. As an affiliate of Computer Using Educators, now CUE Inc., the purpose of the Monterey Bay CUE organization are to support the development and growth in the use of integrating technologies in education of its members and all fellow regional educators. Through professional development / training, research best practices, relevant resources, and ongoing networking opportunities. So that's just some ways that we just hope to serve you as Monterey Bay CUE.
Yeah, and at the end of the show, we'll have some contact information so you can work with that if you're interested. We'd love to share resources with you all. But in the meantime, let's get on to the big show. So I want to introduce our MCs for today. We have Krista Bradley and Laura Carey joining us. And we are going to turn it over to them so they can lead you through this awesome work these students have done. Take it away, Krista and Laura.
We are here for students, and we are so excited to share our student-made videos. Students from around our region, Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz counties, were all eligible to enter from grades kindergarten all the way through 12. They are divided into 3 bands that Krista will be introducing to us all.
All right, so here are 3 grade bands. We have kindergarten through 2nd grade, 3rd through 6th grade, and 7th through 12th grade.
Our judging criteria consists of our media and technical category, which includes the integration of media objects such as text, graphics, video, animation, and sound to represent and convey information. We also look for a connection to conservation. It is Earth Day, so we're looking for topics, ideas, concepts, knowledge, and opinions that constitute the substance of the presentation and are connected to conservation. We're also looking for students to be creative and innovative. The elements of the presentation that make it unique, original, and compelling are really important. And last, but also incredibly important, is the area of copyright and fair use. The project must respect the copyright rights and guidelines, so it needs to be original. So the original and non-original sources need to be cited.
Absolutely. Okay, and another component of the film festival is the People's Choice Award. So all videos are available on MBCUE's YouTube page, and the contestants had the opportunity to share their videos, and the video with the most likes will be named or will receive the People's Choice Award. So we look forward to announcing that later in the show.
We are so excited to feature 5 films this year from these amazing participating schools. We have films from Fairview Middle School out in Gonzales Unified School District. We have a film from Martin Luther King Academy in Alice L. Union School District, and a film from Washington Middle School in Salinas Union High School District.
Okay, and here's a reminder, please share, give MBCUE a shout out by using our hashtags MBCUE and Earth Day. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat.
We have a wonderful kindergarten through 2nd grade featured filmmaker, and this filmmaker is Sophia NM, and her film title is Love, It Could Transform the World and Help Bees. And Chris is going to give us a little bit more information about her film.
Okay, so Sophia's teacher is Miss Clementina Pantoja from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy, and that's in the Alice L. Union School District. So when prompted, Sophia said that what she learned is this project has taught me that every living being needs to be protected, and especially the bees, since they provide so much for us. Without them, we cannot survive for long.
Don't be angry, don't hate. Wars kill a lot of animals and insects. Animals lose their habitat. In my short life, I've seen less insects in my life. It makes me sad that there's world in this world. It hurts that there's so much anger. But love can change things. Give peace a chance. You don't hear about songs that say, give war a chance. Poor bee, this is so sad. This is only a 3-year challenge. It's scary that we're losing so many bees. We all need to do our part. I know I am. Miss Brigada, you're a wonderful teacher.
You just made my day. That is so sweet. Thank you.
Miss Lomax, you're a wonderful friend.
Thank you. You made me very happy today.
Tree guys are important because the bees get tired going to flower to flower and they get thirsty, and I build the bee bath. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the pollution. These flowers are beautiful. Don't cut them. These are food for the bees. I help sanctuaries. You can do this to help bees. Good job, Costco, Lowe's, and Walmart. If we didn't have bees, there were not going to be no honey or pollen. And if there was no bees, there were no honey or pollen. And if they sting you, then they'll die. And if they all die, then they're gonna die in 7 years. Ms. Pantoja, how are you helping the earth and the insects?
Thank you for asking, Sophia. You've inspired me, and I've donated to the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History, since they conserve and protect our bees and even our monarch butterflies and other animals. Thank you for being such a good role model. A special thank you to the Familia Nieves Morales for the dedication to this ongoing project. Thank you, Sophia, for always demonstrating love to Mother Earth and to all of us in room 14B. And thank you to Mrs. Roberts for advocating science in kinder.
Thank you, Ms. Regalado. Thank you, Mrs. Lomax. And thank you, Ms. Pantoja.
Wow. It's hard to follow that, but we have a wonderful opportunity to honor our 5-year history, and we're going to take a look back at some of the films and kind of highlight what made them special.
This is a stop motion video from Natalie G. And let's go ahead and see this video.
Hey, Bob, happy Earth Day! It's too early for this. Hey, John.
Hey guys, it's Drew. And before Corona happened, people liked to hang out in places like this. And then we had to spend more time at home. We even had to wear face masks. We even started to do distance learning, and we began shopping online. We even started to get packages, and more packages, and more packages, and more packages, a whole bunch of them. More than 90% of products are shipped in cardboard. We use a lot of cardboard. We need to make a better market for recycling cardboard. You see, the store charges us 5 cents or 10 cents for CRV. CRV is what we pay at the checkout stand and get paid back when we recycle certain items. Let's do the same for boxes by charging everyone for the boxes they're using. We can get more people to recycle. Let's go recycle these boxes. Now it's good for our wallet and for our environment.
Our next film comes from Josue P., and the title is Trash.
It's not okay to throw trash everywhere. This is bad for us, the animals, and the environment. According to National Geographic, 8.8 million of plastic end up in the ocean. This creating pollution and harming sea life. Here are some evidence that people throw trash everywhere. Plastic here, styrofoam there, and more garbage there. When it rains, all these trash go to the drain or out to the ocean. Many sea animals get hurt or even die from eating or choking from plastic. For example, here's a turtle who got tangled up from a fishing net. Another sea turtle had plastic straw stuck in his nostril. Here is a whale who died from eating all those plastic garbage. Here are some ideas how to change our old ways and saving the earth. First, throw your trash in the right container. Second, put the plastic trash in the recycle bin. Third, let's start recycling. Reduce the use of plastic and reuse the plastic we have. Also, if possible, limit the use of plastic such as straw, balloons, and water bottles. Saving the earth is loving your own world.
Josue's video was a great example of a newscaster style with a green screen.
Yes, and that concludes our K through 2 videos. Amazing, so much wisdom, and they're so young. This is a reminder to please share. Sharing is caring. Share how do you celebrate Earth Day? Don't forget to mention MBCUE with our hashtag and our Earth Day hashtag.
We are excited to share with you our 3rd through 6th grade featured filmmaker. These filmmakers worked incredibly hard, and they are their title is Mushrooms Against Worldwide Pollution. This was done by Audrey R., Liz Angel B., Lily R., and Camila R.
And their teacher was Paul Dietrich at Fairview Middle School in Gonzales Unified School District. And this is what they learned. It's taught me how things so small, like mushrooms and bacteria, can have a big impact on our Earth.
Mushrooms are at the very beginning and end of the life cycle. Mushrooms can help get rid of mass problems currently on our Earth, including oil spills and vast amounts of plastic.
This is the process of the blue oyster mushroom growing.
This is another mushroom that can eat trash. Mushrooms can bring a whole new future if they can help clean out our landfills. Some mushrooms have the ability to eat petroleum and oil, while others can eat plastic.
Certain mushrooms, like oyster mushrooms, make enzymes that can break down rough hydrocarbons found in petroleum to help soak up metals like mercury.
Mushrooms are naturally programmed to biodegrade any natural thing. They are experts at it. They have the ability to biodegrade dead animals and plants. This is why they are at the beginning and end of the life cycle.
Researchers have now found many species of mushrooms that are capable of plastic bioremediation, including oyster mushrooms. The oyster mushroom can decompose plastic yet still produce an edible mushroom perfect for an at-home mushroom system.
How can we get rid of plastic pollution? Real experiment from Paul Stamets.
In 2008, Paul Stamets told of a project he had done with mushrooms during a TED Talk. The project consisted of 4 different piles of trash saturated with diesel. Each pile was treated with different things. The other piles were treated with enzymes and bacteria. The remaining pile was treated with mushrooms. They had covered each pile with a tarp and left it there for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, they returned to the site. The tarps were unveiled. The other piles were dead, stinky, and black. The mushroom pile was flourishing with hundreds of pounds of oyster mushrooms. Something was very unusual about the pile. The mushrooms had sporulated, which had brought in insects, bringing in squirrels and birds. Our pile became an oasis of life. Pestilodiopsis microspore come from the Amazon rainforest. Astoundingly, these mushrooms can survive on plastic alone. Pestilodiopsis microspore come from the Amazon.
Our team is planning on growing Pestilodiopsis mushrooms at our school and then expand this to our community upon its success. We live in Gonzales, California, which is near the Johnson Canyon Sanitary Landfill.
Wow, those are some talented 3rd through 6th grade age group students there. Our 3rd through 6th grade retrospective, we get to look back at some incredible videos, and our first one coming up, Krista, you get to introduce it.
All right. So this one is another stop motion video, And it kind of demonstrates the progression that you tend to see through the grade bands. So we saw a stop motion video from a 2nd grader earlier on. This is from a 5th grader, Noah B. His teacher was Cindy Berg from Mission Park Elementary. How we can save polar bears.
So, how was school? Oh, it was fine. So, can I tell you what I learned today? Sure. So, Dad, do you recall what global warming is? Yes. So then you know that it affects all sorts of animals, right? Mm-hmm. And today my class focused on the polar bears. Wait, how does global warming affect polar bears? Global warming is a huge problem for the lives of polar bears and their future survival. Okay, so before I start, just let me clarify that global warming doesn't necessarily affect polar bears in a lot of ways, but it does affect them in one big way. Okay, so normally in the wild, polar bears would hunt seals by using the sea ice. They would walk over it and try to find holes in the ice. Usually seals would be using the holes to breathe air, and when they weren't looking, polar bears would attack. But that all changed. The ice where polar bears would normally hunt is melting, so less and less sea ice is appearing every year because of this, and without a way to get their food, they're dying. And people need to recognize this before it's too late. Before you go on anymore, why should I care if polar bears are dying? Well, as one of the largest land carnivores in the world, along with grizzly bears, polar bears keep the seal population under control, which means that without polar bears, the Arctic seals wouldn't have anyone to hunt them, so there would be too many. That is a problem. Well, what can I do about it? Well, for one, you could stop using gasoline-powered cars and... Wait, how are gasoline-powered cars harmful? Well, whenever you use anything powered by gasoline, the gasoline creates a greenhouse gas called carbon dioxide. And this gas creates an effect that traps all of the heat into our atmosphere, thereby making it warmer. And look at these people, they're riding their bikes, skateboarding, and even walking. To also reduce global warming, use energy-efficient light bulbs and turn off electronics when not using them. I think we can all work together and stop global warming before animals like polar bears go extinct.
That is a clever use of Lego right there. Our next film comes from all the way back in 2018 and with Just Say No to Single-Use Plastic by Sunrise C.
Look at the ocean, the nature. Can you imagine our nature being a dump? Do you know how much plastic we use? According to KQED.org, 35 billion plastic bottles and 100 billion plastic bags are thrown away each year. MyLastStraw.org discusses that we throw away enough straws that they can wrap twice around Earth. That's how much plastic we use. Recycling is not necessarily the solution. According to the documentary Bag It, they discuss that more than half of the plastic we recycle ends up in the dump. And that is what we call single-use plastic. So what really is single-use plastic? Well, it's a plastic item we only use once, then throw away. For example, plastic bags, plastic cups, plastic food utensils, plastic food wrappers, plastic bottles, and more. 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, have more to it. There are 5 R's, but not many people recognize the other 2, refuse and wrap. Refusing means saying no to single-use plastic. This is important because most plastic ends up in the ocean, and all drains lead to the ocean. At our current rate, according to KQED.org, we throw away enough plastic to wrap 4 times around Earth. So what can we do to help? Here are some simple ideas that you can do. We're going shopping when you don't go back. So remember to refuse straws whenever you go to a restaurant.
We'll do an unsweetened, please. Okay. Yeah, and then can we also get that drink without a straw?
Okay, without a straw?
Yeah, no straws.
Okay.
Yeah, we really don't need them because it's a waste of plastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
And wherever you go, don't forget to bring your reusable water. Whenever you order a beverage, don't forget to bring a reusable mug, cup, or water bottle. Whenever you have the opportunity to say no thanks to plastic, be sure to reuse and refuse.
What a great informative video that involved the whole family.
Okay, this is another reminder. Can you please answer the following? What's something you have learned from one of the films? I know I have learned a lot from the ones we have watched so far, including the retrospective ones. So don't forget to mention MBCUE and hashtag Earth Day.
We have some amazing 7th through 12th grade featured filmmakers this year, including we have Bleached by Priscilla H. and Ariana S., Ocean Pollution by Jimena S., Brian F., Teneri G., Maria R., and Miguel F., and Global Warming by Maya P. and Izumi L. So looking forward to seeing their videos.
Okay, first up is Bleached by Priscilla H. and Ariana S. Teacher is Paul Dietrich, and these students are from Fairview Middle School in Gonzales. What they learned, I learned about how the importance of keeping our coral reefs impacts us.
Bleached by Ariana and Priscilla. What is coral and why is it important? Coral reefs are among the most biologically diverse and valuable ecosystems on Earth. Not only do we value them, but so do other aquatic animals and life forms. About 25% of ocean life depend on coral reefs at some point in their lives, while 500 million of people depend on them for food and coastal protection. Healthy coral reefs provide 1. Habitat, feeding, spawning, and nursery grounds for over 1 million aquatic species, including commercially harvested fish species. Coral reefs teem with diverse life. Thousands of species can be found living on one reef. 2. Food for people living near coral reefs, especially on small islands. When a coral reef supports fewer fish, plants, and animals, it also loses value as a tourist destination. 3. Recreation and tourism opportunities such as fishing, scuba diving, and snorkeling, which contribute billions of dollars to local economies.
What is causing harm to coral reefs? Coral reefs face many threats from sources such as climate change, diminishing water quality, overfishing, pollution, and unsustainable coastal development. These things are all putting pressure on coral reefs globally and locally.
They are particularly vulnerable to climate change and rising ocean temperatures, with mass coral bleaching and mortality events expected to become more common as intense temperatures rise. How does it impact us in aquatic life? What would happen if they die? Coral takes a big part of aquatic life, with shelter and food to many animals. Without them, Nemo would have been captured and eaten way earlier than when he did. But did you know that over half of coral reefs have already been lost, and what remains of them is at risk of rapid extinction? In fact, scientists at 2020's Ocean Sciences meeting estimated that more than 90% of all coral reefs are expected to die by 2050. So what would happen if there were no coral reefs? By now, you might have guessed that this what-if question isn't just some over-the-top scenario. The threats to our coral reefs are very real. This is what a world without them could look like. 1. 25% of marine life would lose their habitat. There's a reason why our coral reefs are known as the rainforests of the sea. Despite covering less than 1% of the ocean, they provide essential habitat for 25%, yes, 1/4 of all marine life. If their homes disappeared, marine biodiversity would suffer immensely. And, like a domino effect, many fish, turtles, and other creatures would disappear. 2. Coastal fishing industries would collapse. Okay, so coral reefs support fish, no surprises there then. But if they support fish, then they also support fishing industries and the people who consume fish too. According to United Nations, around 1 billion people globally depend on coral reefs for their food and livelihoods. Let this sink in for a second. The disappearance would be catastrophic, resulting in hundreds of millions of people around the world losing their main source of food and income. On top of this, the shortage of seafood and diets would inevitably put pressure on other land-based farming industries who would be required to make up for the shortfall. 3. Coastlines would take a battering. Coral reefs don't just work their magic underwater. It's a little-known fact that they have a pretty important job of protecting coastlines too, by providing a natural buffer against powerful waves and extreme weather. Without them, shorelines would be vulnerable to erosion, and rising sea levels would push coast-dwelling communities out of their homes. Nearly 200 million people rely on coral reefs to safeguard them from storms. This means that reefs already play an important and naturally cost-effective role in protecting human lives. 6. Sea would be a lot slimier. When toying with this hypothetical, but let's face it, not altogether unrealistic scenario of a reefless world, some scientists have suggested the ocean bed would eventually become dominated by algae. As the skeletal structures of the limestone reefs slowly break away, microbial life would soak up the sun's energy, producing slime. Lots of slime. Oh, and plenty of jellyfish to graze on the buffet of microbes. So jellyfish and slime? Yay!
So what can we do to help? Here are 3 things we can all do every day to reduce the harm to coral reefs. 1. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. Coral reefs can be harmed by marine garbage. By recycling your waste at home, on the go, and remembering the 3 R's, you can avoid waste from being blown or swept away into waterways and oceans. 2. Minimize the use of fertilizers. The overuse of fertilizers on lawns has a negative impact on water quality because fertilizer nutrients wash into streams and eventually end up in the ocean. These fertilizers pollute the water and contain compounds that might destroy the coral reefs. And 3. Spread the word. You can learn more about coral reefs and spread the word to your friends and family on how to reduce harm to them. There are various things you can do to keep coral reefs healthy whether you live near the coast or 100 miles away. Many threats to coral reefs occur directly in the ocean, but many more originate on land, even if it is distant from the coast. These are just some of many lifestyle adjustments that anybody can make to improve the health of our coral reefs.
Wow. Our next film is called Ocean Pollution. It was made by Jimena S., Brian F., Taneri G., Maria R., and Miguel F. Their teacher was Paul Dietrich. Their school is Fairview Middle School in the Gonzales Unified School District. And they learned that it's a very fragile subject, but when you have more understanding about it, it'll help you cooperate better to avoid further damaging marine life.
Dude, did you eat that jellyfish?
Yeah, it's my food. What'd you ask?
That was my leftover jellyfish. I told you not to touch it.
Sorry, you know how hungry I get. And besides, you should have said before.
Oops, I thought that was my leftover jellyfish, but it was a plastic bag that drifted over here.
Introduction to ocean pollution. Hello, in this video we'd like to share information on ocean pollution. Through this skit we are able to understand how many marine life view ocean pollution. Though many stories aren't as light and entertaining, ocean pollution is still a large problem occurring in today's world. According to National Geographic, marine pollution is a combination of chemicals and trash, most of which comes from land sources and is washed or blown into the ocean. This trash can consist of quicksilver such as mercury, plastic waste, man-made chemicals, petroleum waste, agriculture runoff, and biological threats. As these pollutants are dumped into the ocean, the waste often affects marine life and even our beloved Earth. Effects on marine life.
Marine life is getting the worst of ocean pollution. Some of the most impactful things on marine wildlife can consist of the digestion, suffocation, and entanglement of plastic debris. IUCN states marine wildlife such as seabirds, whales, fish, and turtles mistake plastic waste for prey. Most then die of starvation as their stomachs become full of plastic. Much like in our skit, many animals suffer from the digestion of plastic, often dying when consumed. When consuming plastic, they can also have a reduced ability to swim, as well as infections and internal injuries.
Effects on humans and food. Though the ocean may be getting the harshest form of pollution, so is the outside world. Since plastic never fully disintegrates, the plastic only breaks into smaller particles, also known as microplastics. According to IUCN, microplastics have been found in tap water, beer, salt, and are present in all samples collected in the world's ocean, including the Arctic. Materials used to produce the plastic are known to cause carcinogenic, frequently interfering with the body's endocrine system. By interfering with the body's endocrine system, both humans and wildlife obtain development, reproductive, neurological, and immune disorders. Toxic contaminants also have been found in marine life digestive system, also being a health hazard as humans eat seafood. Effects on climate change. As plastic production contributes to climate change, so does the incineration of plastic. When plastic is incinerated, carbon dioxide and methane is released into the atmosphere, increasing emissions.
So what can we do to help? Luckily, there's a lot. You can do simple tasks at home, such as conserving water, reducing pollutants by choosing non-toxic chemicals and disposing them properly, and choosing a sustainable seafood. Also, you should always reduce waste and recycle properly. If you would like to directly support the cause, you can volunteer with nonprofit global organizations such as the Ocean Cleanup, or even donate to nonprofit organizations that'll clean oceans for your donations, such as Team Seas. For every dollar paid, 1 pound of trash will be removed from the ocean. On screen, you'll find a list of nonprofit organizations that'll help keep oceans clean and protect wildlife.
All right, our next film is Global Warming by Maya P. and Izumi L. Their teacher is Yesel Lopez, and they attend Washington Middle School with the Salinas Union High School District. This is what they learned. This project has taught us to be aware of my everyday actions. It taught us to think about how doing one small thing can lead to a big impact on our world. It led us to further understand that even doing little things every day to conserve energy can help reduce the negative impacts on our planet.
Global warming, how will it affect our future? What is global warming? Global warming is the effect of an increase in carbon dioxide which causes a consistent rise in the atmosphere temperature. Global warming has many causes like use of fossil fuels, generating power, transportation, manufacturing goods, cutting down forests, powering buildings, and producing foods. Global warming has many effects like hotter temperatures, increased drought, increased health risk, loss of species, warm and rising oceans, severe storms, melting of glaciers, and newfound diseases. Some solutions to global warming include increase in wind and solar power, eliminating fossil fuels, reducing food waste, energy efficient devices, using electric vehicles, and saving energy at home. Why should you care? You should care because if there is a continued increase in global warming, there could be serious effects. One of the effects could be loss of species such as polar bears, penguins, and Arctic foxes. If these animals go extinct, then our future generations will not see these beautiful creatures, and the food chain, including these animals, will be messed up. Another effect could be the spread of new diseases. There has been research done by scientists, and they found 28 new diseases that are around 15,000 years old in the glaciers. If the glaciers melt, then all of these diseases will be released into the world. These diseases do not have any cures or vaccines.
We now have the opportunity to look back. That's what retrospective means. It means to look back. So we get to look back at some 7th through 12th grade videos, films.
All right, I remember watching this one for the first time and I was blown away by it. This is called Plastic in the Sea. It's from 2019 by Ira S. And this is a really good example of a documentary.
Everyone has heard about ocean pollution, but do you know what it really means? Do you know that all humans are a big contributor to ocean pollution? There are so many things that can pollute the ocean, such as toxic chemicals from industrial plants, pesticides that run off from agricultural lands, and so much more. These are a few examples that not everyone may have control over. However, we do have control over how much waste we produce. Every time we use single-use plastic materials, we are creating more and more waste that is only adding to the problem of ocean pollution. Plastic is a synthetic human-made material that is used for various purposes. Every day, we use plastic for things like bags, cups, bottles, straws, and so much more. People prefer using plastic because they feel it is very convenient. You use it once and then you recycle it, right? But do you know what really happens to the plastic after you're done using it?
We host several beach cleanups every year, and every month we do a roadside cleanup so that our plastics, once they become litter, have less chance of moving into natural communities or getting to the ocean. But the bottom line is always that the less waste we produce, the less decisions, fewer decisions we have to make about what to do with that waste. So rather than worry about what kind of plastics are recyclable, better just to reduce all plastics.
When I interviewed Bruce Delgado, who is the mayor of Marina and a member on the board at the Monterey Regional Waste Management Department, I asked him what he felt the community needed to do as a whole to reduce the amount of waste we produce from plastic.
We passed a plastic bag ordinance in the city of Marina, which should have been a no-brainer, but it actually took some effort to convince everybody that it was a good thing. And since then, we have a lot less plastic bags in our community. So really, it's a personal choice about how to live a lifestyle that reduces plastics, because if everyone lived a healthier lifestyle without plastics, we'd probably be better off in a lot of different ways, but there definitely would be less plastic in the environment.
Most of the plastic that we use is not disposed of properly, and only about 20% of it is actually recycled. This causes it to get eaten by animals, contaminate our freshwater sources, and eventually end up in the ocean. Sometimes the wind blows trash over into storm drains, or birds flying around might pick it up as food. The problem with plastic is that it takes way too long to decompose. It can sometimes take up to 1,000 years for just one plastic bag to decompose. The plastic floating around the ocean isn't able to biodegrade, and instead it breaks down into smaller particles, which become part of the marine food chain. We have heard numerous upsetting stories of sea turtles, whales, and many other animals dying from consuming plastic. Another problem this brings up is that humans also consume fish, and if there is plastic floating around a fish's digestive system, it is most likely that we end up indirectly consuming some plastic as well. This is how it works. We throw plastic in the ocean. The plastic then breaks down into small parts. The fish accidentally eat the pieces of plastic, and we end up eating the fish. Along with polluting the ocean, plastic can easily pollute and contaminate our freshwater sources. Fresh water is the water that comes from lakes or reservoirs that we use for drinking, cleaning, farming, and sometimes even generating power. Out of all the water we have on this planet, it is a known fact that 97% of it is from the ocean, and about 3% of it is fresh water. This means we already have a very limited source, and if we allow materials such as plastic to contaminate them, we will be limiting our resources even further. I wanted to see how plastic pollution was affecting the marine life here in the Monterey Bay. To do this, I used a remotely operated vehicle to take some pictures and videos underwater. We are quite lucky that our water isn't too polluted by plastic or any other material, but that doesn't mean it's okay for us to use plastic. We still have to be cautious. Over the past few years, there has been an increase in using plastic for various reasons. Plastic has been a big problem to worldwide issues like ocean pollution, that eventually lead to global warming. We often think that it is more convenient to use plastics, but there are so many easy alternatives. For example, the next time you go to your favorite smoothie or coffee shop, take your own metal straw. Carry a reusable bag with you when you go to get your groceries. You can even use a reusable container for your lunch instead of using a plastic bag. These are just a few options that may seem like a small step, but these small steps are exactly what we need to take in order to become better citizens of the planet and take care of the things Mother Nature has provided us with. So, the next time you think about using plastic, Take a moment to simply think about how one plastic cup or one plastic bag could be harming our environment.
Our last film is from 2018, and this is a public service announcement done by Marion C. entitled Energy Conservation.
Energy is part of our everyday lives. Everywhere we look, we're constantly surrounded by it. Our phones, computers, clocks, lights, cars all rely on energy. We use energy in a faster rate than it can be produced. It is said that Americans waste over $130 billion on wasted energy. Energy has a big effect on us humans, and wasting it doesn't help it at all. Saving energy helps us keep resources in the world last longer. Conserving energy also avoids pollution. We only have a limited amount of energy in the world, and if we continue wasting energy, it will eventually run out. Stop and help by turning the lights off and unplug when all these are unnecessary.
All right, so that concludes our film viewing. I would like to pose the question, how do you share conservation with others? Please answer on your social media, and don't forget the hashtags MBCUE and Earth Day.
And now let's do a little drum roll. The winners.
But first, before the awards, we would like to give a big thanks to the teachers.
So let's just stop and give a quick round of applause to our wonderful teachers. We had Clementina Pantoja from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy, Paul Dietrich from Fairview Middle School, and Yesenia Lopez from Washington Middle School. So give them a round of applause as we move on.
Okay, and so as we've mentioned a couple times throughout our film festival, we are in our 5th year of the MBCUE Student Powered Film Festival, and in honor of that,
we have a huge surprise. To celebrate our 5th year, each film is receiving $100, with an additional $50 for the winner of the People's Choice Award, which will be revealed in just a little bit. So congratulations to each of our films for their wonderful work and their persistence and dedication to their projects.
absolutely. So one more time, congratulations to the following: Love, It Could Transform the World and Help Bees by Sophia N.M. Mushrooms Against Worldwide Pollution by Audrey R., Liz Angel B., Lily R., and Camila R. Next film is Bleached by Priscilla H. and Ariana S. Then we have Ocean Pollution by Jimena S., Brian F., Teneri G., Maria R., and Miguel F. And finally, we have Global Warming by Maya P. and Izumi L.
Our People's Choice Award, one more drum roll here. People's Choice Award is determined by likes. So at the end of 1 week's worth of viewing and sharing, we tallied up the likes on our YouTube page, and the results are...
All right, the winning film for our People's Choice Award, and this student gets $50, is Sophia N.M. Love, It Could Transform the World and Help Bees. Congratulations, Sophia.
Congratulations to all of our filmmakers. You did a wonderful job.
And happy Earth Day, everyone.
Yay! So this is our last chance to share out. So whether you're on social media or just sharing in your classroom, This is a chance to share out and congratulate our filmmakers, but also to share out what you're doing for Earth Day. So remember to use those hashtags, but also just share with the people around you, whether it's your family or your classmates.
And if you would like to connect with us, Monterey Bay Q, we can be reached through Gmail, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Thank you, everyone.
See you next year.